Hello everyone. It's technically Saturday. It's not Friday, but yeah, I kind of failed again on getting this posted on time. Um, but I must say, yesterday I was rather busy. I had a job interview. Yay! Wish me luck and hope I get it. Job would be really really good. Money is good. Um, then I had chemistry homework and because I kind of forgot about that, and then I had to go to chemistry class, and as you can probably tell, my voice is a little blah, and wasn't talking real well towards the end of yesterday. So anyway, this week we were talking about villains. Yay! One of my favorite subjects because villains themselves are extremely complicated characters. There's no such thing as a simple villain, really. Um, you can't really have a simple villain because you need to have some very specific details about them. They need a motivation. They need a reason why. And it can't just be, oh, I feel like being a villain. I feel like just doing this. No. Those are the ones that aren't successful. So I'm going to go over a couple different villain types, and I guess we will see how this all goes. So, yeah, there's a couple different main types of villains that I want to go through, and it usually has to do with their motivation, like such as greed and power, and having the ability to do that. The probably the best examples I can give you are from our I just had this. Oh, Lex Luthor from Superman. He has the greed and power to kind of control everything. He's kind of a control freak. He has that, and he has the money, wealth, and power and influence to be able to try and do it. There is obviously they have a tendency, villains like this have a tendency to underestimate the ability of the hero they are going against because they are so blinded by what they are doing that they can't seem to see any flaws, weaknesses, or they underestimate their hero and they end up going down anyway. Another example would be most of the villains out of Iron Man. A lot of it has to do with greed. They want the Iron Man's technology. They want his technology. They want that ability. They want to have that power behind them, and so they try to steal it, and then it ends up backfiring. Because it's never as good when you don't have that brain right there with you, when you don't have the original brain with you. Others is trying to change something in the world that they don't deem proper, such as Voldemort from Harry Potter. He does not believe mudblood should be allowed to be taught magic. He does not believe any of them should be used for, he doesn't believe they're good for anything. So, yeah, using mudblood is actually awkward for me because it's always Mogulmort for me. But since I am talking with about villains, it's probably easier to use the terms that they use to understand. Yeah, so, and Voldemort has the power and influence to be able to try and do what he does. He's one of the strongest wizards ever known. He scares the crap out of people, and that's generally why they join him, because they don't want to get on his bad side. Then there are other villains, such as, like, the Joker from Batman, who is just batshit crazy. There is nothing else to really say about that. He is a villain who is just clinically insane, and there is no rhyme or reason to anything that he really does. I know there's usually, if like, there's just something there that just makes him crazy. And then there are the, just the I want to take over the world type villains. These are the ones I don't generally like as much, because generally writers have a hard time writing these villains without making them just sound just like they're taking over the world. They don't sound like they have a motivation behind them, because they have a tendency to believe that they don't have to write that in. They think that taking over the world is a motivation, when it really isn't. It's like, but why do they want to take over the world? Why do they want to do yada yada yada? All villains have the ability to want to, either they will be killing people randomly, or they will only kill those that get in their way. Depends on the motivation, depends on the character, depends on whatever. But the biggest thing I would have to say about villains is that they have to, you really can't, I don't know exactly why they're called villains, because depending on the side that you are coming from, they are actually the hero, and the hero turns into the villain. So you need to be able to look at it from that side, that point of view. Why are these people, why do these guys have why do these villains have these followings? Why do they have this? Obviously people believe in them, so that is their hero, and that the person they are going against is their villain. So you kind of have to be able to see it from both sides in order to completely be able to get into a villain. There is always, it's like, and a villain usually pops up because of something tragic. There's not usually a good way to become a villain. So there's plenty of reasons to become a villain, and some do, some don't. And also another side is that villains don't always have to be just one. It can be a group of villains, and it can be something like just like a cult that would be a group of villains, or something a little more simplistic, zombies. Yes, I did mention zombies. Zombies are a force of nature. They don't really work together, but they are classified as a group. They don't know generally what's going on, but those are considered the villains of zombie movies, zombie books, zombie anything, because they are trying to kill everybody else. But there's nothing behind there. They're only led by hunger, essentially, at that point, and they specifically just want to eat, and they go for whatever's easily, readily in front of them, which generally is other people. So just know that really, to make a good villain or villains, you have to have a motivation. They have to have that reason why they are a villain. They have to have backup. Villains can't really work on their own. They need help. There's not a single villain that can work on their own. They need a specific drive and purpose, I guess. And so, yeah. There's that dark side to them that they need in order to do what they need to do. And I guess that's all I have at the moment. It's pretty dang early for me, and my brain is not fully awake. I guess if I think of anything else, I can add that in with next week, which is heroes. So we are going the opposite direction with this. First villains, then heroes, and should be interesting. Erin should be posting a villains one either this weekend or next Monday with her heroes. Stuff like that. A couple of the writers have taken a hiatus due to being busy. You'll see them when you see them, otherwise one of us will give you an update. So yeah, I will see you next week, and bye-bye.